Welcome, my name is Jim LaBianca, and this is for my ELFH 316 class, Instructional Strategy and Facilitation. This is my first instructional video. In this video, I'm going to be showing and demonstrating how to hook up a small compact tractor to a backhoe. In this case, I'm going to be using a Mahindra 28 Max, and I'll be hooking it to a 26B backhoe. So our first step is always ensuring safety. Now, we always recommend that you wear safety glasses, gloves, right, and some kind of boots whenever you're around machinery. Because I'm doing it somewhere more of a controlled facility and there's nothing that's actually going to fly in my face, I'm not worried about the glasses today. But I do have gloves to make sure that we don't have anything in our hands. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the area around the equipment is clear, right? Making sure that we don't back into anything, roll into anything, we don't squish anything. It's very important. Notice I have not even started the tractor yet, so we make sure that the area is clear. Then we're going to detach our attachment risers, so that way they are not in the way of the legs when we back up. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and start the tractor and back up. Now I have the tractor started, and I've made sure all my stuff is safe and clear. I have nothing in my way. I'm going to now back up and make sure that I'm in line with the pins on the actual backup. Now that I've verified that I'm in line, I want to make sure that my hoses are out of the way, but they're getting ready to be connected. So now I'm going to slowly back up the tractor so that way I can connect the hoses. Now, making sure everything is still in line, I then connect all my hydraulic hoses. At this point, you need to make sure you turn the tractor off. So now that the tractor is off, we can now connect our hoses. These are hydraulic fluid lines. So some hydraulic fluid may come out. Hydraulic fluid is caustic. So make sure that your hands and the area is clear. Using our quick disconnects. Connect all three hoses, make sure they are connected properly. And our last hose is the one that handles the bucket. And it is connected. Now that our hose is connected, we make sure that they are out of the way, they're clear and safe, making sure that they are underneath the actual tractor and the backhoe connectors. So as you can see, I've started the tractor, so we can go with our next step. I've made sure I've backed up the tractor all the way, and our pins are in line. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and attach our pins and actually change it and attach it to the actual harness itself. Notice it is much higher in the brackets than it is on the pin. So now we're going to lower it down onto the chassis. And you can see I'm bringing my feet up off the ground. Next, I'm going to hook up the safety pins that actually mount it to the frame, secure it in place. Putting the pins in and attaching in our D-rings to make sure that they're on. There are two pins, one on each side, and these mount that to the frame. All the way up, make sure that we have them in proper travel position. And then we can actually raise the bucket. So here we're going to raise the bucket, we're going to put it in the traveling position, and then attach the safety pin to make sure that it is ready and it's available for traveling and it won't fall. Put the pin in, and it's now in traveling mode. So at this point now, I can actually drive it away and use it for wherever I need to. So now let's go back and review the steps that we use to actually hook up our compact tractor to our backhoe. So the first step is always safety. We make sure that we have the proper safety equipment that we need in order to get the job done. Then we ensured the area was clear. Once the area was clear, we detached the attachment risers. This was to make sure that they weren't in the way when we backed up. Next, we started the tractor and then backed up slowly to make sure that we aligned with the pins. These are the pins that actually hook to the frame, so it's important that they're there. Our fourth step was to ensure that the hydraulic hoses were clear and that the pins were actually aligned. Here we did some fine tuning. We made sure that we did not pinch off or do anything to our hoses, as they're what's required in order to make sure that the backhoe operates and fully functional. Step 5 is to connect the hydraulic hoses. Here we make sure that all 3 hoses are connected and seated properly. Make sure that any hydraulic juice that you actually lose is actually picked up. Next, we connect the frame pins and the locking pins. We do this by adjusting the backhoe up and down as needed in order to get the pins in. Remember, the bottom pins are seated into the actual frame, so now these top pins hold it in place. Once that's done, we connect in the safety pins to make sure that it's all connected. Then we bring up and attach the risers and then pin those in place so they don't fall or cause the legs to be in any type of binding situation. We raise the legs to the top so that way they're in travel position. Step 9 is to raise the backhoe and insert the safety pin. This is done so that way as we're moving, it does not move around or swing from side to side. It also makes sure that there's no stress being put on the hydraulic system as we travel or move, and we could be on some kind of a bumpy surface. I want to thank everybody very much for watching my video, and everybody have a good day.